Vocals. You guys know that I have been preaching all about vocals this year, and it's something that we all need to make sure that we are putting a little bit more effort and time and attention to. So if you've not been working with vocalists yet, and you think it's going to be a very helpful thing for you to start doing that in 2023, which I do agree with, you're in luck because I have decided to put together a service that will hopefully help match you with the right vocalists for your project, okay? And you can work with multiple vocalists throughout the year with all the different types of albums and music that you're working with, okay? So what I'd like to just share with you guys, if you are looking for a vocalist and looking for somebody that has been essentially kind of qualified to reach out to you, you don't even have to go searching for them. They will come looking for you. There's a form in the description box of this video. It's also going to be the top comment. I want to just invite any of you that are looking to get a vocalist on some of your tracks that you're either submitting to a library for the first time, or maybe you're already working with a library and you want to start getting into the vocal world, and you probably know that that's going to be something that your libraries are going to be asking of you soon. So why not wait for, don't wait for them, but sort of get ahead of the curve a little bit here. And they are definitely going to be needing that as time goes on. This free form that you can fill out will essentially put you on a sync project or a sync gig sheet for potential vocalists and songwriters, kind of top liners, to check out. Okay, so there's a lot of information that you can give in this free form, and including your email address, including what you're looking for, male or female, a reference track, uploading a track of yours so they can get a vibe for what you're going to be bringing to the table, what library specifically that you're going to be pitching to, because they need to know, is this a very serious producer, or if you don't have a name of a library you're going to pitch to, they need to know that as well. So I'm trying to keep it as transparent and fair on both ends as possible. So you basically can just enter your information down below. There's a couple of consent though, just basically click on them only if you agree to them, that essentially you're taking full responsibility for yourself. Okay, so I do not negotiate contracts with you and these vocalists. I'm not in the middle of anything, right? I never want to be a middleman for anything. So you obviously just need to make sure that you take responsibility for yourself as you work with these vocalists, okay? But you basically put in all this information, all this data about what you're looking for, and then once it's complete, it's going to be available, and I'm actually going to be releasing this this Friday, this February 3rd, to a large group of vocalists and songwriters. So if you want a vocalist to start with you fairly soon, I recommend you get your project in right now, like as in today or within the next couple of days, definitely way before Friday. Because if you have your project up there, and as I'm going to basically be pitching this to a large group of people, you'll have a really high chance of somebody not only reaching out to you, but there'll be somebody that's going to reach out to you who already knows what you're looking for, what you're offering. In this form, there's also going to be, what kind of terms you want to offer in terms of like a work for hire, a one-time payment, or are you willing to split the royalties on the back end? So you get to put all of that in this form. So there's no guessing essentially as to who you are, what you're doing, and what you're basically offering. So that way, anybody that ever shows up in your email inbox, you know that they've already been qualified by all the information you've put out there. So my goal with all of this is to kind of be a matchmaker, because I think that most of you guys watching this are instrumental producers, and that's really what I've been my whole sync licensing career. Vocalists, there's so much talent out there. There's so many amazing people that could do well in this business, but because a lot of them don't produce their own music, they're not sort of in that technical world like we are with our DAWs and home studios. They're missing out on a lot of opportunity. And now that I'm definitely seeing vocals being something we need in our music, I think it's time to really kind of reach out to these communities and these people online and try to find them. I'm definitely going to be doing the educational part of it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to help you guys, is that I am going to do a bit of an education on them to let them know what is it we're doing here with production music libraries, sync licensing. It can be confusing. It can sound weird. People might have a bad taste in their mouth from something else they heard about the business. So I'm going to do all that I can to make sure that I'm educating anybody who's potentially interested in it. So when they reach out to you, they kind of know the deal, they know the drill, they know what's going on there, okay? And so, yeah, I would like to encourage all of you guys to essentially fill that one out. And while it's definitely going to be 100% free for you, free for Sync Academy members, anybody on this side, it's free for all of you guys. On the other end, for the vocalists and songwriters, it is going to be behind a paywall. So I want to make sure you guys are clear on that. It's a very, very small paywall. It's $5. It's like probably the smallest paywall in the history of mankind. But it does need to be there, because I do not want to, because you guys are going to be putting in your email address and information. You're going to put up your track there, right? And so you're going to have some pretty important information on the sheet. And I don't think it's a smart thing to just have this available to anybody who clicks on the link. So I will allow anybody to preview the gig sheets, but I will be blocking out your email addresses and your track. So they will not have access to your specific music or your email address, but they'll have all the other information for your gig. So they can at least see, all right, is it worth paying the $5 to kind of get in touch with these people and maybe potentially reach out? So if that makes you uncomfortable, if you don't like that, I understand it's like your contact information in here. So I want to make sure I'm very transparent about that. So don't sign up for that if any of that feels weird to you or you just don't like that. But I felt like there had to be some sort of a qualifying process to make sure that these people were not just going to take your email addresses and just spam it out to anybody, or have your track get shared around to people that you don't necessarily want them to get shared around. So I wanted to protect your guys' information in a small way if I possibly could. So this is a new thing. I don't know if it's going to work out. I think it'll be pretty cool. I've never heard of anybody actually doing something like this, and I think that's really where I usually, I either do great, I do some amazing stuff that really helps a lot of people out, or sometimes it's a big dud and it just kind of pops and it doesn't go anywhere. So worst case, basically you might not get an email. You just might not get a vocalist reaching out to you. But I think many of you guys will get the right email, because I think the way that I can communicate this to vocalists, I think I can kind of sell them on sync licensing and why this is something that they should be thinking about, especially working with production music libraries rather than the music supervisor route, which is kind of more what you see online when there's anybody talking about songwriters and vocalists getting involved with sync licensing. They're always telling them, like, go spam essentially all these music supervisors. And that leaves a bad taste in their mouth because they're not really getting anywhere with that approach. So I'm going to try to let them know this is a much more direct approach. It's kind of an undiscovered way. A lot of people obviously don't know about it. Definitely vocalists, songwriters don't really know about this. But I think we all collectively can really help each other out, because we need their voices. We need their lyrics. We need their melodies. And they need our instrumentals, and they definitely need their voice out there in TV placements. It's going to help them get more exposure for themselves. It's going to help you get more placements, get more royalties. So it's definitely a win-win-win. So I hope that we can definitely make this thing work. So we'll actually see. So please do not wait on that. Definitely get me a couple of projects uploaded here. We have about 15 now. I was actually thinking we would get a little bit more, like 30. I'd like to have a lot more than 15, especially since I'm going to a large number of people with this. So that's why I kind of want to put a little bit of a time crunch on this. This form will be available after this week. It's not going to just go away. If we get a lot of people that sign up for it and it seems like it's a worthwhile service to keep going and keep sort of cultivating, this will be sort of like an ongoing offer where you can constantly, for free, just upload whenever you need a new vocalist. You just put up a new request essentially. But, we'll see, obviously. We'll see if that continues on. But this week, as it's kind of like our launch week to just get this going, I like to have a good, healthy number of projects ready to go. And we're not quite there yet. So I'm kind of asking you guys to please make this a priority. Put up your request below. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that about this thing, post it below. I'll be happy to answer.